We are back inside of Snapshot 24w09a, and this one is a decent one. It brings a lot of changes to wolf armor, and then also a few GUI changes, which we'll cover the GUI changes afterwards. Let's cover the wolf armor first. So wolf armor now has a tooltip, and the tooltip is plus 11 armor when equipped on a wolf. So it now shows you how much armor. Is this the same for horse armor then? Does the horse armor now show this tooltip as well? It does. So the horse armor now also shows you how much protection they give, which I think that's a good change. But there are also some other changes to the wolf armor inside of this update. First of all, you can now dye it. It dyes like leather armor. So if we grab a few different types of dye and then we throw a crafting table down, put the wolf armor in the center, and that's not a dye, and then we throw some dyes around, you can see that it'll slowly tint depending on what colors you put in and how many of that color you put in. Now let's make it some kind of like blue. There we go. So you can see it's some kind of like greenish color, but it seems like it doesn't dye the whole thing. As on the texture, only a part of it has been altered. So I've now got a tamed wolf. If I sit the wolf down and let's now put the armor on, that is what the armor looks like when it's dyed. It has some stripes across the back, the top, and then also a line across the head. I also like that you can't dye all of the armor. Let's try this again with a different type. So if I throw this in and dye it maybe a lot red with then maybe some green to make it go an orangey. Let's then grab some shears to take this wolf armor off and put that one on. You can see what that one looks like. Now, there are some other changes to the wolf as well in this update, and that is when the wolf armor takes damage, you will see that eventually it will show you that it's taken damage. That's really cool. It's like the iron golem and how it cracks. So we will see that over time, it will eventually take damage. I'm just punching the wolf to show this a lot quicker. But is there only one stage of it cracking? Or is there more? No, it has cracked again. So it seems like it just gets blacker or darker the more it cracks. So let's see how many stages there are. I feel sorry for this wolf because I'm just punching it, but it's totally fine. So currently, there we go. It just cracked again. Okay, so it seems like, oh, that cracking stage was a lot. You can see the armor has got a lot of detail on it now. I guess this could be kind of cool because you could make them have more detail. If your wolf isn't for fighting and only for decoration, you can punch it or make it take damage. It don't have to be punched. If a skeleton was to fight this wolf, the armor would eventually crack as well. It just shows you how much durability the armor has, because the armor will now break on the wolf. If we punch the wolf enough, it also seems like its health isn't going down. But you did just see the wolf armor did break. There is another thing. If your wolf armor does start to break, you can heal it with armadillo scutes. So if I click that on, you will see that it repaired the wolf armor. Now, it does seem like you have to sit the wolf for it to first repair, because if I punch this wolf a few times and then click the armadillo on it, it will just seal it. It hasn't repaired the armor. If I click it again, it will then repair the armor using one armadillo scute for every repair stage. Let's now see, can you get the damaged armor? So if I punch him a few times, so let's get it to the second breaking stage. There we go. If I now shear it and take it, you'll see there is a durability bar. The armor has 64 durability, and it currently has 41. If I put that on the wolf and then punch it one more and then shear it off, let's see, it's taken 1 durability. The next thing, can you put mending up? You can. Okay, you can make these enchanted with mending and unbreaking. Let's see what this looks like on the wolf. Does it render with the enchantment? It doesn't. That's such a shame. I really hope inside of a future snapshot they make it so the enchantment renders on the wolf as well. I don't know if that's an easy change, but the wolf armor it is wearing is definitely enchanted. If I grab some shears and remove it, you'll see the item that drops on the floor does have mending and unbreaking on, but it just doesn't render on the wolf. Now, I've just read the patch notes, and the wolf armor, its tail wasn't going down, and that is because they will now not take any damage to most damage sources. In the patch notes, it says most damage sources, so that means some will still damage the wolf. We are not sure what ones yet, though. And it means that if you hit your wolf will not take any heart until the armor is broken. Once the armor is fully broken, then your wolf can start taking damage to its health. You can see it has just broken. If I hit the wolf now, its tail is going down. I think that's a really good change because it makes the wolf armor really useful. Now, before we jump to 121 changes, as there are a few, let's cover the GUI changes. The dirt background inside of Minecraft has now been removed. You can still get it by going to resource packs and then inside of the programmer art, but the normal background now is just a blurred version of what you are doing. As you can see, it's now just me still in the background, but it's a lot more blurred, and this is the same for every single GUI. If you are not within a world though, so let's leave this world, it is a blurred version of the Minecraft background. You can see what the background looks like if I go to multiplayer. I like this. This is a cool change. So the 3 changes for Minecraft 1.20 are the following. First of all, the vault block has once again had a texture update to make it a lot different to the trial spawner. So you can tell the difference between the two. Now the texture changes here are the top texture has been altered once again. And then the sides at the top have also been altered to give them a grey fading sort of texture, which I don't know. I think this texture is good. It does also seem like the lock texture has been altered slightly as well. Then the Bogged has had a texture and model update. Oh, I like that. We are setting it to nighttime real quick so we can get a better look at the Bogged without it burning. And it's been made to have a 3D look. I really do like that. The mushrooms are now growing off of it a lot more. Yeah, I really do like this change. It also does seem like the inside has been altered slightly as well, because before its face was a lot bigger than normal skeletons. So another change to the Bogged is when you shear them, they will now drop some mushrooms, and it does also update their texture. It removes the mushrooms on top of them. Will they grow back? That is something I'm not too sure about. It would be cool if over time they grew back, because then you can make this into a mushroom farm by trapping one of these in a boat or something, and then just going and shearing them like every 5 Minecraft days. But it is random. It says that sometimes you can get 2 of the red or 2 of the brown, and sometimes you can get 1 of each. That time we got 2 red, that time we got 2 brown, and the first time we got 1 of each. There's also been 1 tweak to the wind charge, and they've just removed the randomness of when you throw it. I don't know what this means because I didn't know it was random. I know inside of dispensers it was random. That is just because dispensers have a randomness to them anyway. So does this mean that it's been changed inside of dispensers? Does it always go the same? No, it doesn't. There is still randomness inside of dispensers. It's just when the player throws it, it seems like it always goes the same direction. And I do just want to point this out because this is a huge change for Minecraft. You would have seen that when I was holding items, it would say there was now components assigned to the item. And that is because they have now basically reworked the NBT system to now be item stack components. So we're making some large changes to how item stack specific properties are stored, and they're basically explaining a little bit more about this on what changes they've made and how it affects the game. It's apparently improving performance in some cases where the game needs to frequently look up some properties of an item, so armor trims rendering every frame. And they do also know that the NBT tag has been a thing for quite some time, and they do also talk a little bit more about it. They do also have a blog post about it if you do want to check that out. This will be linked in the description. Item types, for example sticks, hold a set of default components on an item that individually item stacks can override. So I don't know, this seems like a huge change, and currently I'm not sure if it's good or bad. I'm guessing it's going to be good because Minecraft know what they're doing, and if it does increase performance in some cases, I guess that's also good. But I do also talk a little bit about some of the new components that are a thing. So custom data, damage, repair cost, unbreakable, enchantments, stored enchantments, custom name, lore, can break, and these are all things that items can be altered, can place on, and if we carry on scrolling, you can see there are a lot of them. The patch notes this week are extremely long, but that is just because they have listed like every single component that a item can have. And then there is one final change that I want to mention, because this is, although it don't affect survival players that much, it's good for creative players or map makers. If you was to have a block that has a GUI and you was to rename it, so for example, I've renamed this dispenser. If I was to place this down and then I was to control pick block it, it will now give me a dispenser with the same name and with the same data. I think that's really good, because if you was to do like a map where you had a load of dispensers that you wanted to name them so you knew what they did, you can now just control pick block them and place them wherever, and they will all have the same name. Before, it would just give you a item that says dispenser. But this snapshot is a really good one. I love the changes to the wolf armor. I definitely do love that you can dye them. And I also do love that they don't take damage until the wolf armor breaks. I think that's a really good change. One change that I would suggest though, I would really like to see the enchantments render on the wolf, so you can kind of have like a glowing wolf. But anyway, if you enjoyed, do leave a like and subscribe, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!